Yo, all right. Welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Now, look, we're back on the Law and Crime Network. Again, shout out to them for covering this. Shout out to Elizabeth. I believe she's going to be the one talking in this video. She does such a great job on covering this. I really love the way that she speaks as far as, getting the news to us in the most professional way. But this title here says, rumors about P. Diddy Juror getting kicked out of trial swirl in court. Remember they talked about kicking out Diddy? I know they had talked about a video where the jury was making, what did they say? It looking like the jury is taking Diddy's side. This is huge. This is huge, man, because, it's been a lot said in this trial about the jury. So we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
And we're back with our continued coverage of the criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. I'm not alone. I'm here with Elizabeth Milner, Law and Crimes in-court reporter, who's been there for every moment of the action through all the testimony of Jane today being cross-examined by the defense. Elizabeth, so good to see you. To start it off, let me give you a great comment. We got a viewer question from Sam. I just want you to know I've been watching every day from Oxford, England, 5:30 p.m. my time. I'm glued to these updates, and Elizabeth is absolutely beautiful.
Thanks.
Inside and out. Elizabeth, you get so much love on here from our viewers, so always good to see. I do have a lot of questions for you from viewers. Usually I'll ask you to tell us everything that happened, but I got to get to these viewer questions. I'm going to list three because they're basically the same question. This is from L. Spelunker. This is a question for Elizabeth. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation, jurors and people being removed, about what is going on in the courtroom today. What is actually going on? That's my question. Another question from Anne. Is it true about a juror being asked to leave? If so, did it cause a delay in the court? And then Show and Tell Knitting asks, what's the issue with juror number 6? So they're kind of related questions. What can you tell us?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it does seem like it's kind of all pertaining to the same issue. So it kind of first started yesterday, and that's when the judge had ordered kind of the lead counsel on both sides, with the prosecution and the defense, to kind of have a conversation with him inside the judge's chamber. But what was interesting is that this particular conversation wasn't even in the transcripts. It was under seal, and we learned a little bit more, not the full answer as to what they were talking about. The government is still going to be submitting a response. But from what I understand just about the conversation, there is a possible issue with juror number 6. Now, as far as what the issue may be, it's not very clear. But what I will say is even yesterday and even today, we've seen every single one of the jurors, including the alternates, being inside the jury box, still listening to the testimony. So it's unclear kind of what the hiccup is, but I feel like by at least tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon, because court is starting a little bit later tomorrow, that we should learn a little bit more and at least learn what the government's response is to this. But as far as we know right now, everything is kept under wraps, tight-lipped, and under seal, unfortunately.
So no one's being kicked out of the court today?
Nope. Not from what I saw. It might be a different situation in the media overflow room, but from what I saw in the main courtroom, I didn't see anyone get kicked out.
Okay, we got a question from Jane. No, not the...
So, and to be honest with y'all, I kind of knew this would happen, as far as like, I knew it was going to be a lot of drama in this case. And I'm just saying, man, like, this is such a high profile case. We still don't know what other names are going to come out and be involved. Like I said earlier, the damn Jane chick mentioned Diddy talking about Shaq, Kobe, and Jordan. And I just don't know what else is going to come of this. But I do feel like something is going to be like a huge bombshell. Like, holy, like I'm still waiting for that holy moment. And I know it's coming. But as far as drama, like the lady getting kicked out, they're threatening to kick out Diddy. Now they talking about a juror and juror number 6. And yeah. this don't shock me at all. I'm just trying to see what's going to happen with this tomorrow.
Jane, just a Jane. What's the? Well, we hope not, Jane. What's the atmosphere like in the court today?
Yeah, the atmosphere is pretty interesting. I thought as far as the cross-examination, I didn't know kind of what to expect as far as where the cross-examination would go. Tinny Garagos is the one doing the questioning for Jane Doe while she's on the stand. But as far as just the atmosphere inside the courtroom, you would think it would be kind of tense. This is alleged victim number 2. She's testifying under cross-examination. But from what how the testimony is going so far inside the courtroom, you would think, and I think this is kind of pretty interesting for our viewers, is that Tinny and Jane, while she's on the stand, it seems like the two are just like friends catching up. And the two are just, when Tinny would throw a question to her, oh, so you mean that this is happening? Oh, so did you really mean that you didn't want to do these hotel nights, but you did want to do this because you wanted to please your partner, your lover? It's very...
And see, that's key right there. Even Cassie testified to that. Wanting to do things to please him, because if you're not pleasing him, he gets very aggressive, very agitated, very temperamental, very, like all these things that will not benefit you in the long run, And when I say benefit, I'm talking about like from a physical standpoint, a domestic standpoint. My whole thing is, I just because when she was talking about, Jane said something about like 18 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't sign up for this, type of thing. So it's like, I want to please him. We're doing this. I'm cool with it. And then at some point it took a turn. You see all the stuff that he's putting in his body. I feel like if they had a moment where they were sitting there and they were like, you kind of look and you go like, what the hell am I doing? And they want out, and getting out ain't easy at all. Like, what did he say? You need to get back on your job.
Very kind of toned down. It's not aggressive like we've seen in other cross-examinations with Brian Steele and Mia, or even with Nicole Westmoreland and Bonna, but really with Tinny Garagos. And I think, I got to commend her on that, is that the cross-examination is not aggressive as far as this morning has gone. And so you would think that the atmosphere would be a little bit tense. And even as far as Diddy's demeanor inside the courtroom today, you would also think that it might be a little tense. He is a little animated at some points as far as just kind of looking either at Jane, looking at Tinny Garagos, jotting some notes down here and there, but he's not looking over at the jurors from what I could see. But you would think it'd be kind of, again, that tense environment. But so far, it hasn't been. It seems like Jane is still kind of holding up. She hasn't broke down in tears. She hasn't gotten emotional just yet, or not even just yet. She hasn't gotten emotional so far during the cross-examination. And so that's pretty much the atmosphere as far as today goes.
We got a super chat question from Carol Mogan. Thank you so much, Carol. Elizabeth, thank you for your most informative updates. I don't know how you keep up. How do you keep up, Elizabeth?
I don't know how I keep up, honestly.
Elizabeth's like, I don't know how I keep up. I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm fine. Everything's okay.
I mean, yeah. I'm okay. I'm celebrating my birthday with you guys as opposed to being at home doing something else.
Oh, happy birthday, Elizabeth. Happy birthday.
So.
Well,
Thank you.
Damn. Happy birthday. It is, shout out to all the people covering this, because you got to think just from a mental standpoint. If you're a genuine, just good human being, and you're sitting there in that trial and you got to take all these notes down and you're hearing all these gruesome details of what's going on, especially for the women that are out there covering it, and then have to come back and stand in front of the camera and report and give these details the best way you can. It's tough. It's tough, because I kind of talked about that movie Sound of Freedom, how if you watch that movie, you already know what I'm saying. The people who have to review all that footage of what these people were doing, it's not easy. From a mental standpoint, it's a lot. Because even me sitting here reacting to this news, sometimes I just be like, man, but y'all, I'm good. I'm good, because that there's other things I watch. I have a good balance going on. I go to the gym, I work out, my mental is straight, but it is a lot to be listening to, for sure.
Greatly,
Thank
you're
you.
great. You're widely respected, so highly valued. Everybody loves what you're doing. Okay, so we have more questions for you coming in. And you answered a little bit more about the reaction of the jurors and Diddy. That was a question from Olivia E. You know, how is the cross-examination as intense as previous ones? How does Jane seem to be reacting? You answered that. This is a question from Enlin DK. Love the reaction of my silly question, girls supporting girls. How did Tenny react when Jane told her not to call her child son? There was a little bit of a tense back and forth there about the father of her child and her child. What was going on there?
Yeah, it seemed that Jane really kind of took offense to Tenny Garagos, and Tenny kind of apologized for this, where she did kind of blurt out your son, and then Jane was kind of like, when you reference my child, can you specifically say my child? And so it seems like this is definitely a touching point when it comes to Jane.
Damn, see, even in there, you say my son, so people, you know, put all the pieces together. You know, yeah, if she would have said my child, you would have known if it was a girl or boy. Sheesh. That's what I'm talking about, man. As far as like people trying to hide their identity, it's going to be damn near impossible in this case. Damn near impossible.
On the stand, and even just as far as just kind of the outside noise too, where she seems very kind of protective over the relationship, either with her son specific or her child specifically, or even her child's father, where she was kind of asked a certain question as far as why she moved from the East Coast over to LA. Was she over in the East Coast because she wanted to be near her child's father? And Jane was kind of like, okay, well, what does that have to do with this, and this being obviously the criminal case against Diddy? But it seems like, as far as mentioning just whether or not Jane's child is either a daughter or a son, when Tenny kind of spilt that it was the son or her son, that Jane kind of took a little bit of offense to it, and then Tenny apologized a couple of times, and so they kind of moved past it, and it seems like everything is still kind of going pretty well so far.
By the way, everybody in the chat is wishing you a happy birthday, just so you know. This is a question from Mikey John. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. This is for Elizabeth. Greetings from Germany. Is there information on who's coming to the stand after Jane?
Yes, good question.
Yeah, that is the big question, because a lot of people are under the presumption or assumption that, you know, the prosecution may rest. I personally don't believe we've gotten there so far. I think maybe at least we might have one or two witnesses afterwards. But I think since Jane is taking most of the duration of this week, and at least she'll be on the stand up until Thursday, because she has to catch a flight Thursday evening, that we don't know just yet who they're going to be calling next to the stand. But I'm hoping that they'll at least kind of spill the tea a little bit this afternoon before we adjourn for the day. So we should find out very soon.
Because the witness list is sealed, and we really don't get an idea of who's testifying until the end of the day, when there's some sort of clues, and we do wonder whether or not Christina Coram will testify for the prosecution. We anticipate that she would.
All right. Wow, man. Again, shout out to Elizabeth. Happy birthday. Such a great job reporting this, man. Again, I'm just trying to cover this the best way I can. You know, stuff will come out. You'll see like articles, and even those are difficult to read because I have to skip by or try to use my best way to say words that can't be said. But again, man, with this juror number 6, also, you know, since whoever's going to testify is sealed, boy, they have to get Christina Coram on that stand. They have to, because again, in Diddy's words, she's my right hand woman. I don't know what's going to happen next, but they definitely need to get her on that stand, because I feel like she's going to be that holy moment. She's going to be the person that definitely can bring in all the other stuff that he's being charged for. Unless she get up there and plead the fifth or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see. Let me look at some of the comments here. A lot of people saying happy birthday to her. Great team. They're just shouting out the channel, of course. I'm going to leave the full video in the description. I just wanted to cover like the first part that they were talking about. Just a lot of happy birthdays. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on here. It's not really a lot of comments. Let me go to the newest. Yeah, still a lot of happy birthdays. Let me say, if the feds have the freak off tapes on all other evidence, it's a done deal. We'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a lot said about this jury, man. So, hey, appreciate you guys coming over. Peace out.